family, real world stuff came up, and yep, it's a bit later than I planned. Alright, so the plan is, what we're going to do is it's going to start a new game as Italy. The other campaign we were doing was actually corrupted. Now, what I'm going to do this time is I'm going to do it as a kind of little guide. A little how I start as Italy, why I do what I do. So I'll be pausing. This is going to run through the beginning steps. So before everything gets complicated, World War scenario. If you want me to continue this campaign, I'm happy to do that, but just comment on it. Or, yeah, just leave a comment if you want me to continue, and I'll continue. So this is Italy. I'll chuck Iron Man mode. It's historical AI focuses are not on. So yeah, I'll go over a bit of single player and multiplayer options. Yep. Just trying to get my head in the game now. Alright, so we start off at war with Ethiopia. Now we can obviously go into that without actually seeing. Now, what do I do there? Well, you'll see that in a second. But what should we do when Ethiopia surrenders? Now, there's two options. You have the annex all option, which a lot of people do. I see it in a lot of multiplayer games. They will annex all of Ethiopia. Now, I actually don't tend to do this. I pop it. I'll go into that exactly why later, but give you a brief description. I'm just drawing my battle plans now. So yeah, I get all the mountaineers in my army. I put them into this division here. I actually like to finish Ethiopia far off. I gotta get my words right. Fast. Now I do this because I believe Italy, in single player especially, and handy multiplayer as well, but not as necessary, needs to pretty much turn. They need to win the Civil War. The Spanish Civil War is important, so you don't want to still be at war with Ethiopia when that kicks off. For the Axis, we all want that Civil War to be done sooner rather than later. Now, down south, you might wonder what I do in this portion of the war. Now, I actually put all my all my tank divisions down here. One thing that's handy is having this unit here, this division here, not unit. Send him to attack. He is going to lose, but it will stop that little annoying unit from advancing here and causing havoc with your lines. It will give your divisions here time to just kind of get in the right formation and hold the line. So I put my tanks. Again, I'll do the shortcut. That's shift and click. If you don't know that, chuck all these divisions here. Might chuck another one infantry. Alright, sweet. Done. That I will choose my generals. Make sure my air is up. I've made countless mistakes before of not doing that. Alright, now that's all done. Choose generals. Which generals do I have? I do not have him in this army. I have this general. I'm not going to even try and butcher the name. I have too much respect for Italians to even attempt it. Sorry about that. I just do not want to butcher the names of famous generals. So I'm going to chuck him. He has a defensive bonus, and logistics will actually come in handy in the war to come, at least holding out until the replacements arrive. Alright, now. Sweet, that's all selected. Now let's go to research. What do I research? Now, again, with For Spain, having strong vehicles, a vehicle division I always feel is important. as Italy. So I researched the mobile artillery and the next tank, light tank. And then I do the standard, make sure my industry is sorted kind of deal. Alright, done. Civilian factories will go into that in a second. Let's get our military factories up. So, again with my eyes on the prize of the Spanish Civil War. When you start as Italy, you've got to keep that in the game in mind. And we'll go into why, well, once the game starts actually playing. Also, I will actually get the chat up. I've just realised I have not actually had that up. My bad. Sorry about that. I have my other little laptop here and just forgot to click that. Let us go into it. And I'll quickly mute, obviously. Alright, cool. There we go. Chat's up. If you have any questions, just let me know. Let me know what you think. If you think I'm doing something wrong, if you think I could improve on something, let me know. I'm always interested in hearing feedback, as HOI is a game that is there's so many complexities with it. Alright, 3 light tanks. Now, I always want to get my air started. Oops. See, it's just at least to cover the losses I'm going to find. Now, I get one of every plane. I don't usually get transports at the beginning, but I think they will be handy to chuck in your production later, as it helps with the naval invasions and that kind of stuff if you can actually supply more troops in that region. But yeah, let's continue now. I do, as you can see, I do not have artillery yet. Now let's get that in. Because of this Ethiopian war, then the Spanish Civil War, you actually get a lot of army experience to actually start developing your units quite early, which is one of the few advantages Italy has over some of the other nations. Now I want to go 3 there, just because a lot of divisions don't already have that, so I'll only chuck 3 on there, 4 on there. I will bump up infantry equipment soon. So that's basic template of the production military equipment. Now let's go into naval. I usually actually keep both these battleships, and I switch that out for a heavy once I research it. My voice is cracking because I've been talking all day. So sorry about that. If my voice cracks, I do apologize. I am not a 12e that I know of. Who knows, maybe I've gone back in time, that kind of thing. Although that wouldn't really affect my age. In fact, it would probably do the opposite. But alright, get a heavy cruiser pumping, because I will be pumping out heavy cruisers. Because one thing Italy needs to do, and one thing in a multiplayer game and a single player game, Italy's main role is to divert the Allied Navy. We want to do as much damage to the Allied Navy, get them to send naval down here, because they want to naval invade Italy, get you out of the war. We want to keep their navy down here in a multiplayer game, that is. So Germany has a chance of naval invading UK, getting them out of the war. Let's face it, UK is a pain in the bum. And late game with all the American troops garrisoning it, it's just a headache. Naval invasions are such a pain in the bum. So yeah, you want to give Germany the option to actually do naval invasions. And yeah, so with that in mind, you have to continually build Italy up to have a decent navy. It's the only axis, apart from Japan, that actually has a navy. So yeah, you gotta always keep that in mind. It's one of the few things you have. So yeah, let's focus. And then with that in mind is your strategies for the rest of the war. Alright, let's continue to get this up. Destroyers, you're going to produce destroyers really fast, as every nation does. So destroyer ones, you want to upgrade that as soon as you can. So I'm going to leave it on 2 just because destroyer ones are pretty bad. I'm going to up my battleships because I do want to have a bunch of battleships here. Chromium is going to be a lot easier for us once we take Yugoslavia. And yeah, we'll go into whether we take Yugoslavia or that kind of stuff later. But just so yeah, we will bump up light cruisers again. We want to get them up. So this is basic naval production at the beginning. I do want to bump up my convoys because let's face it, when the big war kicks off, we'll be losing convoys pretty quick. Oil is pain. We have to get our synthetics up. One thing I used to do often is actually take out Iraq. I would do that because it impacts world tension not that much. 2% for the actual justification. I don't do it straight away, but yeah, that's just another thing you could do. I want to get some civilian factories going. I'll get not there. We got 3 in here, and I'll chuck some militaries in, and there we go. Alright, that's just enough for now. We can upgrade that to where it needs to be. We'll get our fuel from Venezuela at the moment. Our rubber, Siam, that'll give us the amount of rubber we need. Tungsten, we'll go Portugal, and chromium. Well, may as well go Turkey. Alright, let us kick off and see how it goes. Alright, so now as you can see, our troops have started to move to the front. I am moving my ships northwards. As you can see, this is what I was talking about here. Now they're going to lose, or not, randomly. That's not the main point. That division needs to get to there to stop that annoying little push. The rest will hold. And I need to actually put that general in. There we go. Alright. Now let's look at our supply. Infantry equipment is rubbish. Our support, we'll get that back. We're not creating any divisions at the moment, but that's not a big deal. Light tanks, we have light tanks. So that's sweet. Alright, so our supply is not too bad. We're not in deficit massively now. Let's go to get all of our navy sorted now. We have the time. Our divisions are getting in place in Ethiopia, so we have the time to sort out our navy. Alright, that should be pretty much it. No thanks. Alright, cool. So now, one thing that an Italian player in a multiplayer game must know is just communicate with Germany. Because you don't want to, if you're justifying on people, it depends on the rules in the multiplayer game, obviously, whether they allow for early justifications or not. Like, you don't want to bump up world tension too quick and then have Poland guaranteed. Unless Germany does. You don't want to stuff up their plans here. Like, let's face it, Italy is not the major player in the Axis right now. It can be a very strong player if you work together. Now, that's just my opinion on it. But look at when you're justifying things, don't go justifying on, you know, Yugoslavia. It's going to bump up world tension. As you can see, 6%. And that's without the focus. If you do the focus, it's about the same. Sometimes I think it might be an extra 2% if you use the focus. But yeah. So some people do justify early. And that's fine. Like, but winning the war will also bump up world tension because you'll be annexing this place. There is no reason to puppet Yugoslavia. You want the factories. You want that tiny bit of resources they actually have, but mainly factories. See, in single player, one thing I often do, and one reason I feel like Spain needs, you got to make sure Spain goes nationalist, is conquering Spain and puppeting them. I do that for the manpower, because then I can steal their manpower. They have a lot more manpower than Italy can get, so why not? It also opens up a whole other front against France for the Axis. Now, if you talk to the German player about this, and the rules of the game are fine with it, like I said, every host has different rules, then go ahead, because that's going to bump up world tension massively, annexing, puppeting Spain. But if they're fascist, right, allied AI, not allied players, allied AI cannot guarantee it. Players can. So you go, if this is a multiplayer game, you have to really talk to Germany. Is this worth it? Because they'll have to hold off on this area. Doesn't mean they can't absolutely rumper stomp them later, but they would have to hold off on that and look at getting into front war with these guys even before Russia. So yeah, it's an option. That's sweet. We have our northern divisions have arrived. Our southern divisions have arrived. We're ready to kick off this war. As you can see, it's a pretty much open and shut case. Our man will take it. The reason we have this general appointed is that he has the Panzer ability, and the reason we take our tanks down here is we do want to level them up as much as we can. Because, not just because it's good having a nice leveled up light tank division, whether this is a multiplayer game or single player game, one thing we've covered is Italy's importance on the Mediterranean Navy. We want them to suck up some of that. Oh, sorry, I'm just doing a bit of we want them to suck up some of the Allied fleets in the Mediterranean. So one thing we have to do is we have to take the Suez. Now, again, with the strategy of Spain, is it makes taking this little the rock, Gibraltar. I'm really bad at pronouncing things in the moment. Sorry about that. My mind's just 1,000 miles away, if it even existed to begin with. But that's not the point. We need to take this area off to lock off the Mediterranean. We get the Mediterranean sorted, and that's our trade. We can trade with Turkey. We can trade with Iraq. We got oil. We have chromium. Not the biggest deal, but the Allies can't reinforce this area. So it means the Axis taking Greece, taking Romania, taking Poland, again with Germany taking Denmark, same deal. These areas can't be reinforced. So that's a big bonus. To be able to do that makes the conquering so much quicker. It means the two front war is a lot easier to win if the Allies aren't putting troops on every single front. And yes, Russia's scary. But we won't be going to how to deal with Russia in this little stream, unless you guys want me to cover it in another stream. But yeah, so as you can see, we're just marching right over it. Our mountaineers are getting XP, which we want. Our mountaineers are quite decent. Our mountaineer division. Let's check it out. Remember, this is a start game. We have artillery and engineer companies in our little mountaineers. They're 12 width. It's not the best. I'm not saying they're amazing, but it gets the job done. For an early game, roster, it's not too bad. Just go destroy these guys. All right. There we have. We have our next. What do we do now? Well, we're about to win. Getting the civilian factories are handy, so we'll do that, and then we'll, depending on whether we take Ethiopia. Yes, we do have to get all these national focuses done. So as you can see, it's all green for us. We're taking them pretty quickly. Spain, the civil war has not kicked off yet, which is fine. Sometimes it kicks off this year or the next year. The later it is, the worse it is for the Axis, because world tension issues. And let's face it, the lower the world tension, the better for the Axis to just gobble up territory before the Allies can get involved in guaranteeing everything. Because if you keep the world tension below 25%, the Allies cannot guarantee. That is multiplayer, or that is single player. If the AIs are AI, if the Allies are AI, they will not guarantee nationalist Spain. So you can come back and take them out later. It's not a big deal. With a bunch of naval invasions up this coast, they'll fall. It's hard for them to hold it after rebuilding from the Civil War. Again, the later you try it, the harder it is going to be for you to take them out. And if they go, alright, if they go communist, they would, if you declare war on them, if the Republicans win, they will join the Comintern straight away. Soviets are not afraid of fighting Italy, so that's one of the reasons it is important. It gives you the option to take Spain out or puppet them. But if nationalists lose, there is no option. And that is not a second front you're going to ever be able to win. Because also, remember, we can ally and bring them into the Axis through our national focuses as well. In a multiplayer game, that keeps world tension down. Brings an ally. AI, yes, but brings another front against France. So, why do I puppet this area? Ethiopia. Seems pretty useless. Seem weak. Well, let's look at the factory-wise. Like, look at the amount of factories they have in this area. Is it really worth taking their factories? No, you're going to have to build it up anyway. You may as well build up Italy, right? See, because Ethiopia is just going to pump out infantry. That's all they're really going to pump out. You're going to be able to steal their manpower. Let's face it. Italy's manpower sucks. That's 700k, yes, but it's sweet. We got the Civil War. We're about to wrap this up, as you can see. The capital is about to fall. Should we help that along? Well, actually, obviously, we will help that along. We'll make sure that those men are all in on that. And then we'll chuck our aid into Spain. This is some Italy's priority. If we have to send weapons, we'll send weapons. And we need this war to end favourably for the Axis, for the nationalists. But yes, so puppeting them. That means that constantly Britain, the UK, the Allies are going to have to garrison this area because they know that Ethiopia will expand. They won't expand too much. The AI, unless it's a player, obviously, but let's face it, no player wants to be stuck as Ethiopia. Unless it's a player, is pretty defensive, but you can constantly give them the territory that they expand into because they will fight the Allies for this region. It will keep England, France will send the troops as well from this area. It'll keep units that could be defending France here. Like, yes, if you conquer it all, you can have your own troops that are better. But if you puppet that, you can build troops in that area using the DLC together with for victory, using this subjects. You can create your own division. You can have little light tanks there if you want. Now, but when it comes down to all your divisions, you can have a nice little army here and get ready to rush Cairo when a bunch of their divisions are stuck here. You rush Cairo and then go down. You're going to do a lot of damage. Now, it's not worth much, this area. Africa is not really worth much. But, well, taking something off the Allies is always good. Having them have to send divisions down there is better. The less divisions in France, the better. The less divisions in the UK, the better. Alright, so we're going to send the attaché. Oh no, we were going to send an attaché to nationalist Spain, but we will just puppet Ethiopia first. Now, this isn't a multiplayer game, so I can actually pause this. It helps when explaining things, I guess. I wouldn't do it in a normal game. I would just continue running this. I am explaining it, so I'm a bit slower than usual. Well, that's the excuse I use anyway. So, let's face it, we haven't actually put any divisions down. I do like to put divisions down, but I haven't. So, oh well, that happens. We will put divisions down, but I haven't yet. Let's see if I even could train up some. Yeah, infantry equipment still an issue. Alright, cool. So, we will get our volunteers going, and then after that, we will send an attaché that's going to help their organisation. Send volunteers. We will actually have to sort that army out now. Sweet, done. We want this general. We want to up his skills as Panzer, as we want this guy to deal with the Suez. We want a light tank rush here, followed by some infantry just to hold the ground they take so they don't get surrounded. Mechanized works, but works for a nice fast blitzkrieg, but you know, normal are fine. Make sure we send air volunteers. Alright, that's done. That's sent. They will accept. We just need to make sure air superiority is got. So we're going to send just fighters. Get them ready now. We can usually send about 155, I think. But yeah. So I have another. I'm just putting all my fighters in this area. Well, at least not all, but a bunch of them. There we go, the 20 fighters there. Alright, we want to get air superiority from the Soviets. They're going to have it. There, sweet. They're off to volunteer. Our fighters are joining up here. We've lost that. We're already, it's not looking the best for our little nationalist brethren here. Sorry, got this stinking mute signal here. I don't know why, actually. The wife's left, so I will chuck it on. Alright. That's better. I can actually see. Alright. So we still have a bit of room. Unfortunately, we have no... We can manually. That's what we'll do. We'll manually just split this division. Reorganize it. Yeah, that's useless. Alright. Just 40 each. Should have probably done another 10 in there. Oh well. It is what it is. Oh, I could only get 146 in there anyway, so it's fine. Alright, everyone's... Oh, they're not up. Alright, sweet. Let's get our little tanks in. Oh, this region's not doing the best. Ooh. So yeah, this nationalist Spain is off to a very bad start. They're actually getting creamed. So yeah, every start's different. Now let's give them the organization bonus. And we might actually send them some weaponry. Yeah, they're going to be losing convoys pretty fast. So, 50% of all of our convoys will go to them. We will send 50% of all of our infantry equipment will go to them that we produce. This is a big effort for us to actually do it, but like I said, it is a priority for us to actually achieve this. We wanted to get our national stability. This is important for us to do. Just basic. Alright, so this is early game setting up Italy. Now I've just rushed through lots of things. See, the rest of the game, how you play it is dependent on the situation. Taking nationalist Spain, that will boost up world tension massively. If you take nationalist Spain early in an AI or a multiplayer game, that's pretty much it. The allies are justifying not justifying, they're guaranteeing everywhere else. Yugoslavia, you could go Yugoslavia. You need to be prepared. Of course they're doing French. You can do Yugoslavia. They are, but it is handy to, if it's a multiplayer game, talk to Germany. You want them to be taking out Czechoslovakia at the same time, because that stops a long drawn out war. It means you get a benefit from it faster. Pretty much, because Czechoslovakia do guarantee them. Let's get this destroyer 2 happening. So this is a basic start to how I sort out my Italian campaigns. Let's get this dock. Starve all their divisions here. Italy can then start to push back, even though they're lost some prime real estate already. Oh, they're getting slaughtered. They're getting absolutely slaughtered so early on. Again, with why it's important to wrap up Ethiopia fast. But still, it's just sometimes national Spain just get really bad starts. Alright. So, this is Elf King 101. I am going to log off. I haven't reorganized my navy. That's basic. What I do is I get all my destroyer 1s. I put them in one division. I get all my subs. I put them in another navy. My destroyer 1s, I actually wait to put them in their own division once I research destroyer 2s and have them being produced, because I use my cheap destroyer 1s as just screens in their own little navy. That way my larger stack here has better movement, really. They're not impeded. Their range isn't impeded by those rubbish ships. And they're handy just to take out the odd sub. They're not going to do much more than that. Obviously, I would usually fix all this up. But yeah, been kind of explaining what I do, why I do it. Different options, like, so Ethiopia, let's look at it. right now, they have 2 military factories. And they have 2 rubber, 1 civilian. See, puppeting them, the manpower is more important. It's more useful than 1 state, so development's not going to be that much. And 2 rubber, like 3 rubber. So it's not the best. So your development of Ethiopia is not going to be that beneficial for you. You see what I mean? Just getting in the habit of having my planes and my ships not patrolling, as that new DLC is coming out that looks amazing. Man the guns, which is going to add fuel reserves, that kind of thing. So trying to get in the habit now, so later down the track it's habit, so I will burn through my fuel not as fast. Alright, so our guys have 1 up there. We'll have them go for their little capital down here. Start getting supplies to our front quicker. I do this just for planning bonus. It's not like they're actually gonna, you know, be that useful. So yes, if my infantry equipment's up by now, I would have started chucking more troops in, but I started sending 50% to Spain, as I thought they needed it more than I do. As look at, see, the Republican Spain's taking more right now, so they're producing more guns, so, and have more divisions. If we can flip it and fund national Spain, yes, it's going to bite us in the bum if we attack, but when it comes down to it, it gives them an actual chance. And look at this start for them. They have no chance of taking that if we weren't to actually do something to help them out, apart from running our light tanks around. Like, alright, so I will leave it here. I will end this stream. Thank you for tuning in. Let me know what you guys in doing uni. I'm on my break now, so I'm gonna chuck a bunch of streams on and some vids up. If you want me to, if there's anything you guys want to see, let me know in the Discord. Let me know in the Discord. Let me know in the comments what you guys want to see streamed. What you guys, if you guys want. If this was helpful at all, let me know, and I can do more. If this wasn't that helpful, let me know your criticisms. Let me know what I could do better. I always want to get better at this. I do enjoy this, actually, even though not that great at the moment. But I enjoy it, so you're stuck with me. If you want to see some more Mountain Blade, let me know. If you want to see some more the Guild Wars I was randomly streaming, let me know. If you want me to see more Sins of a Solar Empire, let me know. There's a bunch of amazing games that I love, and I would be more than happy to go through. Like Assault Squad, I can do a bunch of that, little tutorials, I can do all that kind of thing. That's Man of War Assault Squad 2. Alright, so Grand Battle Plan. Just before I log off, I will actually touch on this. I'll pause it just in case you guys comment and you want me to continue this campaign. So, what doctrine to use as Italy? So we're looking at a few things. We're going to produce a lot of infantry. It's just what you have to do in this game. But we are also going to produce a lot of tanks. We have limited manpower, so we want to get bang for our buck. We need to take Suez. We need to get light tanks in Egypt, and light tanks in Africa are handy. So we're going to have a lot of light tanks. That's just how I play. So Blitzkrieg isn't too bad. Also, manpower is an issue. So having this extra 5% is really useful. And then we go down here, we get mechanized bonus organization. Quite useful for us. Now, superior firepower is always good. The boost to softer attacks, great, I find. grand battle plan. It is handy for our naval invasions. Getting the organization. It's handy just with organization. Mass assault, let's face it, we're not using that. We do not have the manpower to use that. That would be insane for us to choose that doctrine. I lean towards mobile assault. Mobile assault warfare. Just mobile warfare doctrine. Blitzkrieg, as commonly referred. Because I'm going to build a lot of tanks. I'm going to build a lot of light tanks. When we're looking at naval doctrine, I keep this. We get a bunch of national focuses, which actually limit the time. So it's easier for us to do. It is handy to get some carriers out there. I do tend to favour battleships, but I do like having the old carrier in my fleets. Alright, air doctrine. To be honest, as Italy, we need air superiority, so this one. This gives us the best air superiority bonuses. This is handy because it gives us bonuses against their naval, their ships, their shipping. So one of those two. To be honest, just one of those two. I do lean towards battlefield support. All right, now that's where I'll leave it. I've said it before and I'll say it again. This is Elf King out. Thank you for tuning in. Let me know what you guys think of this. Let me know if you guys have any ideas for the future streams. And have a good night. Elf King out.